One man, one mission, to rid the world of chronic anxiety once and for all. The Anxiety Guy, Dennis Simsek, shares his personal transformation from living a life filled with overwhelming worry to becoming a full-fledged positivity machine. A leading authority in generalized anxiety, Dennis gets to the truth of your mental health challenges and sets you on a path to transforming each and every area of your life. Here he is, the one and only, the Anxiety Guy.
Warriors, welcome to episode number 135 of the Anxiety Guy podcast. My name is Dennis Simsek, and I am so excited for today's podcast episode. Why? Because adrenal fatigue and anxiety are like salt and pepper. They go together. I'm going to discuss it. I'm going to show you exactly how I crushed it and how you're going to crush it as well. Before I get into this podcast episode, let's understand that this episode is brought to you by the number one CBT-based program for anxiety today, located at anxietyexit.com. Go check it out. Start your recovery, my friends. Now, what is adrenal fatigue? First of all, let's just start somewhere, okay? Adrenal fatigue is a feeling of having a lack of energy due to not being able to cope with the demands placed on your body. Does that sound like you? It's so common with adrenal fatigue to feel overwhelmed by any situation. Even the simplest thing can feel overwhelming. You feel run down, you feel tired, you feel like you're not with it, and you feel like you've got no enthusiasm for life. Does that sound like you? If it is, listen on. Here's what an adrenal fatigue sufferer's day is like. 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. is exhaustion time. You wake up and you're like, wow, I'm tired. Even though I slept plenty of hours, got my REM sleep, I don't feel with it. At 12 to 2, many adrenal fatigue sufferers hit a wall, feeling like they need to take a nap. Then at 6 p.m., they hit the second wind, where they get that boost of energy. And if they stay up until 11 p.m., they get the third wind, where 11 onwards to 3 or 4, they feel like they're alive again, ready to take on the day. Now, this is how most adrenal fatigue sufferers' days go, although we must take into consideration the severity of the adrenal fatigue, as the day will differ depending on this and other factors. In my eyes, warriors, there are really 3 parts to the development of adrenal fatigue, which I want to give you, as well as how I countered each one. So let's get to it. First one is history, your history. Here's the formula for the creation of adrenal fatigue. You ready? Stagnant energy in the body equals repressed emotion. Repressed emotion equals traumatic experiences. Traumatic experiences equals mental, emotional pain, physical discomfort, and energetic imbalance. What happened in your life happened, and your body will not release this stagnant energy that's connected to those difficult times and people until the conscious mind steps in and changes the perception over it. My friends, this is what's called reframing. And if you want to overcome your adrenal fatigue, and there are things in your history that you're hanging on to, emotions, decisions, memories, you have to release those and you have to replace them. So, I want to tell you exactly how to do that. Number 1, write down the emotion that you're hanging on to right now. Go ahead, write it down. Is it anger? Is it anxiety? Is it sadness? Number 2, write down the events that led to these emotions and who was involved. Go ahead and write down all the events that led to these emotions. Get to know yourself better. Get to know why your unconscious mind is hanging on to this sort of stuff. Number 3, write down whose perspective you missed during those events and what else you didn't recognize that may have happened at the time that you missed due to your heightened emotional state. Number 4, write down how it made you stronger and what lessons you gained from the experiences. I've never seen it from this angle before, Dennis. It made me stronger? How? Well, today's the day where we actually come out with how it made you stronger and what lessons you gained from those experiences. Number 5, make a choice that you will commit to growing this new perspective every day when the urge to reminisce comes up again, or if the emotion shows up again. So now it's a matter of conditioning. Whatever you're holding on to in your body and your mind, all that history, all those challenges, my friends, those are the things that we need to perceive differently. So today we make a choice that each and every time there is some kind of a reminder, because those bodily sensations are all reminders of times in your past. And there are things in the external world, stimuli, that brings up those memories again. And your subconscious mind says, hey, here, your heart rate's going to go up. Hey, you know what? These new bodily sensations will show up. We're trying to get your attention. And we need you, conscious mind, to let us know if it's still a threat, if it's still a danger, if it's related to our survival. If it is, we will continue spurring on these bodily sensations until you tell us something different about the past, and the only way to do it is in the present moment. The second factor that contributes to adrenal fatigue is diet. I can't tell you how important diet is. Did you know that prisoners that seek parole have a better chance of getting it if they meet the judge between the early afternoon rather than the evening? Isn't that crazy? Why, you ask? It's because the judge just finished his lunch break compared to when he hasn't eaten for a number of hours. This is due to the DMN, the default mode network in the brain, being overrun by what's called the executive functioning in the brain, due to our blood sugar levels stabilizing. In turn, this creates brain juice. Willpower gets depleted when we don't hear the messages our bodies are sending us. In the diet section, here's what I did, warriors. I narrowed it down to 3 sections. Section 1 was, what the heck was I putting in my body? I ate lots of processed foods, bad salty foods with unwanted additives, and sugary foods. Too much of these types of foods put added pressure on the adrenal glands, which in turn begins producing more cortisol. And cortisol controls inflammation in the body. Too much of it causes mood swings that leads to, you guessed it, anxiety and depression and high blood pressure and muscle weakness and much, much more. So step 1 here in the diet section is enter your cabinet and your fridge and get all of that poison out of your house now. Section 2 was, what foods was I allergic to that I was sensitive towards? This is very, very important with adrenal fatigue. Many people overlook this part. Out of a test the naturopath gave me that tested food sensitivity towards 300 different foods, half of them I was highly sensitized towards. So I asked her if this could cause mental and emotional imbalance, and she said, Dennis, you won't believe how many people ask me that question and are stunned when I answer them saying, yes, it's directly connected to your mental and emotional well-being. What a wake-up call. Your body can't absorb nutrients if you are allergic to the foods that you're eating. We need to start the process of elimination through a food mood journal like I did, keeping track of how you react to foods you eat consistently. Write your moods down throughout the day, along with what you consumed, and systematically start eliminating foods that you feel may be contributing to your lowered mood or heightened anxiety levels. Now, as you delete these foods from your diet, you'll need to replace them with fresh fruits, vegetables, high-quality fats, and get on a specific adrenal diet. But that's where I would start. I would also make sure you lessen and eventually eliminate caffeine and stimulants because they contribute to preparing your fight or flight system, and they also put pressure on your adrenal glands to work even harder. We don't need that. Section 3 in the diet section was, which vitamins and supplements did I actually need? So warriors, I experimented a lot with this. Some of the herbs and suggestions from my naturopath I continued with, and some I didn't as I tracked my progress. But here's where my focus went. Number 1, vitamin C. Vitamin C helped my adrenal glands recover faster and gave a large boost to my immune system as the flu-like feelings I walked around with started to go away. I love vitamin C. B complex. B complex helped me to deal with the stressors in my life. I felt like I had a deeper connection to my rational brain and wasn't so impulsive emotionally. This is important. Also, it was great for raising my energy levels. Magnesium. Not taking enough magnesium can cause depression and extreme tiredness. Currently, I'm actually taking 250 milligrams daily for maintenance, but always consult your local professional before adding any of these to your diet, warriors. The brand I use is from Nature Plus called Dino Mins. I love it. It's fantastic. Probiotics. I felt like I was absorbing more nutrients when I was taking probiotics. These helped me tremendously as I felt I had better cognitive function and lowered the amount of inflammation in my body, which is what we need to do. Now, the third section to overcoming adrenal fatigue, first one was history, second one is diet, the third one is lifestyle. In the lifestyle section, I want to start it with a metaphor. The metaphor is this. It's like going skydiving without a parachute, and you keep falling at a faster rate because you keep accumulating more crap in your life. For the lifestyle portion, we have to adapt the right mindset moving forward, and to do that, warriors, we have to understand the 4 quadrants of living. Are you ready? Quadrant number 1 is what I call the darkness where you're very internal and very negative. Quadrant number 2 is the active quadrant, awareness, action, and you're very external. Quadrant number 3 is lightness, embracing uncertainty and what's called vibrational momentum. And where we want to get to, quadrant number 4 is what I call the higherness. Now, in this state, you have full trust in yourself and faith in the universe, as well as adopting the ability to perceive rightly. And what I mean by perceiving rightly is perceiving through your own conscious decisions, analytical mind, logical mind, not allowing other people's brains to affect your decision making. People with adrenal fatigue, warriors, are stuck going between quadrant 1 and quadrant 2, moving from negative states of mind and perception to gaining temporary motivation and becoming an active participant in their healing, before becoming distraught and going back to quadrant 1. Does that sound like you? The pain of change that comes with mental effort, emotionally new challenges, physical discomfort and loss of uncertainty and unsafety in their eyes halts their progress. So to overcome my own adrenal fatigue, I had to throw motivation away and adopt purpose. What was my why? What was my why? What were the reasons I deeply wanted to create a transition from adrenal fatigue, anxiety and depression to freedom, peace, and happiness? I had to get very real with myself because reasons come before results. Once those reasons are in place, we've decided that a long-term commitment to ourselves is made. Now we can get into specifics. Specifics number 1, people. In the beginning stages of my transition, I made a list of all the people I consciously and unconsciously communicated with, and either I stayed away from them or I rearranged how I communicated with them because they were contributing to my adrenal fatigue, just like they're contributing to your adrenal fatigue. Number 2, exercise. In the first month and a half, I only walked. Nothing else. I just walked. Because in the early stages of recovery from adrenal fatigue, the more we push ourselves and the longer we go, the more harmful it is for us and our adrenal fatigue. As time went on, though, I built up the length I exercised and the amount of energy I put into my routines. It was also really important for me to exercise first thing in the morning so that my body naturally slowed down towards the evening and my metabolism kicked into high gear early on in the day. Make sure you're having fun and practicing laughter warriors as well because this lowers cortisol in the body. Mini vacations. This meant that I took time throughout the day to recuperate and recharge. What I did was I napped 45 minutes every day during the afternoon, which helped me to balance my hormone levels. Along with this, I took more rest breaks during the day, continued to walk more, especially in naturistic settings, and did things for myself more. I have a saying and it goes like this: don't wait until you're actually sick to start taking care of yourself. Start taking care of yourself now. Sleep. I focused on 8 hours of sleep nightly, and I got to bed before 10 p.m., before that third wind at 11 p.m., because remember, your glands will recuperate if you get to bed before your third wind, which is 11 p.m., and not engage in activities that are stimulating, especially blue light activation, which turns off your melatonin and turns on your cortisol levels. No phones, no TVs, devices, I would say 2 hours prior to sleep. This is a good rule to live by to reset your circadian rhythm. Hydration. I drank 2.5 liters of mountain spring water daily, and what it did was it flushed out any toxicity my body was under. Balanced levels of water means less work for your adrenal glands, in turn, a positive effect on your overall mood, so stay hydrated. Finally, meditation. I personally felt that meditation slowed down my fight or flight response to a level where I was much more clear in my thinking, less instinctual and emotional, more balanced in thinking and reacting. I meditated twice a day, 15 minutes each time. So warriors, to overcome adrenal fatigue, we have to focus on these 3 parts. We have to focus on our history. What are we carrying with us? We have to focus on our diet. What is our diet like? And we have to focus on our lifestyle. How are we living? Unless you change these 3 aspects of your life, you will continue living in pain and discomfort, and you'll feel like life is never really fulfilling. You'll never reach happiness. The only way that you'll go through happiness is if you buy yourself something or if someone compliments you in some way. That is the only way that you're going to contribute to happiness in your internal system. It's not good enough. We want long-term happiness and fulfillment. And the way we're going to get there is by following these rules starting today, my friends. I love you all so much. You are more than anxiety. Take these lessons. Take this knowledge, run with it, share it with someone who needs it, my friends, and I'll see you very, very soon. Don't ever stop believing in yourself. Love you.
Thanks for being an important part of the Anxiety Guy podcast community. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a positive rate and review. If you're searching for further support on your road to recovery from anxiety, head over to anxietyexit.com and take part in the powerful End the Anxiety program based around the CBT model. If you're searching for a more one-on-one approach, you can sign up now for personal coaching sessions with Dennis via Skype. Remember, you are more than anxiety. See you in the next episode.